In 1950, America bore witness to the passage of one of its most terrible laws, the Fugitive Slave Act. The sinister decree cast a long shadow over the nation's history, ultimately propelling it into the depths of the American Civil War, a gruesome battle that exacted a heavy toll in pursuit of black liberation. The Fugitive Slave Act of 1850, though not the first of its kind, was undoubtedly the most severe, leaving an indelible stain on the fabric of American society. It stood as a poignant reminder of the stark betrayal inflicted upon the very principles of freedom and justice upon which the nation was built. Its dark presence would forever haunt the pages of history, etching a somber testament to the lengths human beings can descend in the pursuit of compliance with evil. In the depths of the 19th century, the Fugitive Slave Act cast its dark shadow upon the lives of countless black souls. Amidst the gripping atmosphere of fear and oppression, a resilient young woman named Ella, born into slavery, dared to defy the chains that sought to imprison her spirit. With courage etched into her bones, she embarked on the treacherous journey towards freedom, leaving behind the only life she had known. Guided by whispered tales of secret safe houses and courageous abolitionists, Ella navigated a dangerous labyrinth of back roads and danger. Along her arduous path, she encountered fellow fugitives, united by the shared longing from emancipation. Through the trials and tribulations, Ella's unwavering determination and unyielding spirit became a beacon of hope for the community, transcending the suffocating darkness of slavery and inspiring future generations to defy the insidious grasp of evil. Before we move on, support us by hitting subscribe and the bell icon to get notified when we post new videos. The search for freedom among enslaved individuals was a continuous and dangerous struggle throughout the American history. Many slaves wished for liberation, took the difficult journey northward, or sought refuge in Canada, where slavery had been abolished and black people could live as free citizens. However, escaping their owners was no easy task. As fugitive slaves faced the relentless pursuit of slave catchers hired by their masters, these catchers, driven by monetary incentives, would employ force and violence to track down and reclaim the runaways, perpetuating the cycle of human bondage. As we fast forward to the 1850s, we find ourselves amidst a nation divided by the contentious issue of slavery. The United Nations was in the throes of intense political debate, with some states advocating for the complete abolition of slavery while others staunchly defending it as a fundamental institution. In this context, the Fugitive Slave Act was enacted, emerging as part of a compromise between these opposing factions. Under this law, anyone who aided a runaway slave could face severe penalties, including fines and imprisonment. This encompassed even those who offered mere subsistence and sustenance or shelter to those seeking freedom. Moreover, federal marshals were granted the authority to arrest individuals suspected of being runaway slaves, and they were obligated to return these individuals to their owners. For those held in bondage, the Fugitive Slave Act represents a chilling reality. The legislation meant that any person at any time could be seized and forcefully thrust back into the life of enslavement. Even for free blacks, the specter of false accusations of being a runaway slave loomed ominously, heightening the constant threat of being trapped in the clutches of slavery. The capture of runaway slaves was carried out through a system marked by brutality and inhumanity. Slave catchers, often evil individuals motivated by profit, were hired to hunt down and recapture escaped slaves. Employing bloodhounds and a relentless determination, they would employ any means necessary to apprehend their targets. Free blacks were not exempt from this relentless pursuit. Slave catchers, driven by the desire for financial gain, would kidnap innocent free blacks, falsely accuse them of being runaways, and forcibly thrust them into a life of enslavement. Victims of this practice endured a harrowing ordeal known as slave catching, wherein they were captured, imprisoned, and later presented before a judge. In most cases, these judges would favor the claims of slave catchers, resulting in the victims being condemned to a life in chains. The Fugitive Slave Act had a devastating impact on black families, treating and tearing them apart in its wake. Fathers, mothers, and children were forcibly separated, often never to be reunited. The psychological trauma inflicted upon the captured and enslaved under the auspices of this act was profound and enduring, leaving lasting scars on their minds and spirits. The passage of the Fugitive Slave Act represented a grave injustice, a betrayal of the fundamental principles of freedom and equality upon which the nation was purportedly founded. It stoked the flames of discontent and deepened the divide between the North and South, ultimately leading to the escalation towards the American Civil War, a conflict in which countless lives were lost in the pursuit of black freedom. The legacy of the Fugitive Slave Act serves as a sad reminder of the lengths to which humanity can sink when compliance with evil is compelled. The effect of the Fugitive Slave Act extended far beyond its immediate implications. It sowed seeds of mistrust and resentment among African Americans, fueling a sense of vulnerability and an ever-present fear of being forcibly returned to servitude. Communities were gripped by the pervasive atmosphere of surveillance, where neighbors and understandings were viewed with suspicion, unsure of who might betray their pursuit of freedom. In response to the increasing danger posed by the Fugitive Slave Act, an underground network known as the Underground Railroad emerged. This secret organization, composed of revolutionary, sympathetic individuals and free black communities, dedicated itself to aiding runaway slaves on their perilous journey to freedom. These brave individuals provided shelter, guidance, and assistance, risking their own lives and livelihoods to defy the oppressive law and provide a lifeline for those seeking liberation. The Underground Railroad operated in secrecy, using a complex system of safe houses, hidden routes, and coded language to navigate the treacherous escape terrain. Conductors, the brave individuals guiding the fugitives, would employ various methods to ensure their safety, such as disguising them as ordinary travelers using hidden compartments in wagons or boats, and orchestrating daring escapes under darkness. The Underground Railroad was a testament to the resilience and determination of those fighting against the chains of slavery. It represented a glimmer of hope amidst the darkness, a collective effort to challenge the oppressive forces of the Fugitive Slave Act. The heroes of the Underground Railroad, known as the Unknown, risked their freedom and safety to help others, embodying the spirit of resistance and the unwavering belief in the inherent rights of all human beings. While the Fugitive Slave Act aimed to tighten the grip of slavery, it inadvertently ignited a fervor of opposition that would galvanize the Abolitionist movement. The law's blatant disregard for the basic principles of justice and inherent dignity of every individual catalyzed further activism and moral awakening. Voices grew louder, denouncing the inherent cruelty of slavery and demanding the complete eradication of this dehumanizing institution. The Fugitive Slave Act became a key chapter in American history, further polarizing the nation and contributing to the tensions that would eventually erupt into civil war. The bloodshed and sacrifice that followed were a direct consequence of the profound moral and political divisions that slavery and laws such as the Fugitive Slave Act had sown within the fabric of American society.